coquettes. Okay, we are back. It has been a crazy couple of months, honestly. Me and Gary have now become key workers. So because becoming key workers, it's been really busy. Also, getting the food has been a nightmare. So we've given it a break. We're back and we're ready for the recipe. Now this is a Chinese stir fry. So hopefully you're really going to enjoy it. Okay, so come forward with all my pots. So you've got 250 grams of mince. You've got 2 nests of noodles. You can use any noodles you like. I've used just the Sherwood's normal noodles. Corn flour, about 3 grams of it. I've got some broccoli there. Right, we've got some fresh ginger, about 5 grams. 3 cloves of garlic. Right, now these are spring onions. I've split them up, so it worked out about 2 spring onions each. 1 shallot, about a teaspoon of 5 spice, tablespoon of rice wine, 40 grams of hoisin sauce, 28 grams of soya sauce, and some seeds, sesame seeds. Okay, right, I've got my water on the go because obviously when we're cooking we want it to be nice and ready. So I'm going to add a little bit of salt to that. So I'll pop that, and we do need the olive oil as well, so just bear with me 1 second. You can tell I haven't done this for a little while. I hate my coquettes. Okay, so there should be some in here. So put your thingy on. Put that in there. So olive oil, or as I've done, fry light as well. So okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this over here. So what we're going to want is our garlic, our spring onion, the bottom part of the spring onion, not the top bit, some of the shallots, and 5 spice. I think that's it, and the rice wine vinegar. No, not the rice wine vinegar. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on so that we can start getting it to heat up. So I'm going to pop them in so it's ready to go. And then I'm going to put our spring onions in as well, because they will take a little bit more time to basically cook than any of the others. So if we pop that on there, put them over there. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to bring this up to a heat, and then we're going to fry it off. So at the moment it's been a bit funny about what it's doing, so I'll be back in 5 minutes. So a bit my coquettes. Right, okay, so we've got this done. This is starting to brown off quite nicely. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start putting our ginger in and our garlic. Okay, so we want that fry off just a tiny bit, and then in a minute we'll add our 5 spice as well. Okay, so I am going to start putting in our nests just so that they're starting to do, and I've also cut off the broccoli so into little bits like this. I'm not particularly a fan of big stalks, so that's me, but if you like it, you can quite happily like chop it up quite finely, the stalks, and add it to it. So what I do is when I'm doing my mince, I like to add mine kind of like this so that I can work out where everything is. I mean, you don't have to, you can plonk it all in and then give it a good bash when it's all cooked. But I feel like sometimes it's easier to break it up, otherwise you could just have it in one solid lump. So I don't know if I said, but this is beef. So it's up to you what you want to use. You can use chicken in this. If you don't like beef, you can use chicken. Obviously make sure you cook the chicken, or use the chicken pieces that are already cooked. They're quite handy actually. So pop these in. Like that. The reason why I take it off the heat is just in case hit the bottom of the pan or something with my hand, at least I'm not going to get too burnt than rather when it's doing what it's doing. Okay, so pop that all in. There we go. And I leave it all kind of like in one bit of the pan, and then I can kind of like work it out from there as well. So I'm just going to wash my hands quickly. Always wash your hands after touching meat. It's not the nicest thing, obviously, to have your hands, and you want to make sure you're being hygienic. So I'll pop this back on. I'm going to add our spices. Now I've turned mine down just a tiny bit, my heat, because my cooker is electric and it can get very, very hot very quickly. But if yours isn't like that, then fine, do whatever you like with it. But I know what mine's like. It's a bit temperamental. Okay, so we're going to fry off this meat, which is looking very nice. And then once that's done, the stir fry is going to be almost done really. We're just going to be waiting for the noodles to do. When we come back, I'll start putting the broccoli in. I like my broccoli a little bit more to bite, but if you like it less crunchy, you can put it in with the noodles and then just scoop them out of the noodles. It gives it quite a nice flavour inside the stock of the water. If not, just chuck it in like I have. Alright, so I'll see you in a minute. Bye! Okay, so our noodles are almost done. So I'm going to turn this up. I'm going to add in our broccoli. If you're feeling like it's not very much broccoli, just grab it and cut it in half. Just like that. Now, I don't mind if I kind of burn my fingers. I do all sorts of things to my fingers. Like today I was making candles, and I was taking the foil off the candles so that I could melt them, and I cut my fingers. So I'm always doing stuff with them, burning them, trapping them indoors, all sorts of things. So my fingers are quite used to like heat and stuff like that. Okay, there we go. So that just gives you a little bit more, it helps it go across. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in our corn flour. Just give it a bit of a mix. Okay, I'm going to add just the tiniest bit of water just to help us a little bit with the sauce. It will just help it not like all mix in. Right, so there's that. That's the soya sauce that's gone in. And then we're going to put the hoisin sauce in. Okay, so with the corn flour, it's going to all like thicken up and mix in and go really nice and lush on it. So I'm just going to literally empty our noodles. Put this over here. Take that off. Now remember, your noodles will take quite a while just to cook. So that's why I'm saying, obviously, get everything prepared and have your water on. Should take roughly whatever the packet instructions say. I know when they're done by the way they taste, but that's me. Did you know, I didn't know this, but I learnt this off a chef the other day. If you put your spoon and stuff in here, that's where you're meant to put it. I was quite amazed with that. I was like, oh. So now I'm quite happy with that I learnt that. I keep forgetting though, and then after a while I remember again. Okay, so break your mince up. I'm going to pop in our noodles. Now, the recipe should serve 2 people. You could stretch it to, if you had like a little one with you, you could maybe stretch it to them as well, but I don't think so. I don't think it would be like more than 2 adults. Okay. Okay, so it's almost cooked. So I'm going to take this off the heat. Bring it over here. When you are with your noodles, when you're taking the water out of them, don't worry too much if they're still quite wet, because it will go into the sauce, which will help it a little bit more go further. Don't worry too much. Now you're always going to have a bottle of hoisin sauce when you get it, so you can add a little bit more if you want. I've just added another like tablespoon of it, just so that it gives me a little bit more sauce, because I do like sauce and I don't really like it not having much sauce. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to see if this works. Someone taught me this online, so I'm going to see if it works. I don't think it's going to, but I'm not very good at this sort of thing. No. No, no. So we'll just plonk it on. Okay. So what I tend to do first is I tend to get the noodles first, and then I put the other bits on top, because I always think sometimes that you don't get enough of the meat bit. So just pop that like that. And we're going to grab this. Put it on. Pop that there. So try and even it out if you can. I know it's difficult sometimes when you're trying to even everything out, but do try, because it's really horrible when you're sitting there with your partner and one's got more than the other, and it can lead to a bit of like argy-bargy about who's got what. So okay, so there's that. So I'm going to bring these over here now, and we're going to sprinkle over a bit of the top of the spring onion. Put a bit more on. And there we go. Try and get all of it if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. Okay, and then our sesame seeds. There we go. Okay, so that is your stir fry. Okay, well thank you very much for watching my croquettes. We're so pleased to be back. So if you're on Facebook, please like and please share on the page, and if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and please share. All right, well have a nice evening. Bye bye, my croquettes.